The fourth chapter, the Hall of the King. The letter Chet signalled our entrance into a greater dimension. Tet is pure goodness, rarest and most precious of biblical qualities, and spirituality developed in earnest, the Yud. Which brings us to the next three letters, the Kaf, the Lamed, and the Mem. These are the letters of strength and maturity, depicting the years from 30 to 40. There begins to be a sense of completion, the Kaf, the gift to learn and to teach, the Lamed, and the Mem signifies kingship and refers to reigning in life. Let's look closer at the Kaf. The Kaf is in the shape of a crown, and its essence is the power of completion. As a crown is given in acknowledgement of something, whether status or achievement, so if you are a Christian, you begin to live daily in the recognition of heaven. This is called the witness of the Spirit. His Spirit witnesses to our spirit that we are sons of God. Romans 8:16. The Spirit himself is testifying on our behalf. He always has been for us, but now we are enabled to overhear him, so to speak. And there is nothing so edifying, so strengthening and fortifying as hearing God's "well done," or "I'm proud of you," or "good work." The Kaf speaks of acknowledgement and completion. God acknowledges us, and we, in a sense, complete his love by receiving it. We are humbled to learn that God is delighted when we receive his love, that the journey of his love is completed when it rests in our hearts, like the dove that came to rest on Jesus at his baptism and remained. We are in the hall of the King. This is an amazing place to be. We reach what some refer to as the middle age of life, and God does what he longs to do for everyone. He gives us a hug. Yes, God confirms his love for us in this chapter of our journey. There are still mountains and difficult ways before us, and our Father wants to give us all the encouragement that we can receive. You may recall in Pilgrim's Progress that Christian spent some time in the Palace Beautiful to be restored and prepared for further adventure. This is the Kaf, a crown of acknowledgement. Up until now, much of our experience has been, my beloved is mine, but now it is reversed. I am my beloved's. And it is this settled assurance of belonging to him that helps us to see more clearly than we ever have done and to be equipped for continuing the journey. The Lamed is the tallest letter of the alphabet, having a tower that soars above the line of letters that enables it to survey the pageant of letters, the chapters of life. From its high tower, the Lamed can survey forwards and backwards. We now become able to make some sense out of our lives. Maybe a purpose begins to form, a pattern. We may begin to suspect that we've been guided, that even the painful parts of our past were for a reason. Things may begin to fall into place, as they say. We may even become grateful for the providence of God, for the struggles of the past, even for the people who have hurt us. It's all part of a pattern we begin to sense. And this isn't always the case, of course, because the pattern is usually quite obscured in all the detail. And besides, at the deepest level, our lives are a preparation for eternity. And nobody even knows what eternity looks like, let alone what something should look like that is being prepared for eternity. So, a little comfort to those who struggle to identify a purpose in their lives. Take heart and have faith. He knows the way that he has taken you. If you or I can't detect the purpose, he does. And Christians have this priceless assurance in their hearts, a sense of destiny, purpose, meaning. And it all comes back to the tower on the Lamed. A little watchtower or periscope fixed to the roof of the Lamed is really a Yud which is affixed to that roof. The 10th letter of the Aleph Beit, and the Yud is spirituality. We spoke of this in the previous chapter. It is the Yud of spirituality that gives us the edge over those who deny the things of the Spirit. The Christian understands that the temporary things of this world are really projections from the world of the Spirit, and God is Spirit. In this chapter of our lives, if we've been paying attention, the deeper knowledge and fellowship with God that we attained during the Kaf period, that of God's acknowledgement of us and the assurance of his love, extends our vision. Our horizons are expanded, both the past and the future. The next letter is Mem. Melech is king in Hebrew, and once again it is organically connected to the previous two letters. The assurance of the Kaf enabled me to have more spiritual insight, the Lamed, and that leads in turn to my having a greater awareness of El Melech, God the King, and consequently of my own royal identity. We are children of the King. The Mem is the letter of sovereignty, both the sovereignty of God and our own identity as children of the King. It's a wonderful thing to know God as Father. We can only know that through Jesus. No one comes to the Father but by me, said Jesus. But it is the knowledge of the holy majesty of God, whose voice alone makes the mountains quake, that gives strength to our softened sensibilities. Sympathy is good, but the world needs emissaries of the King, not just sympathizers. God has two hands. The right is chesed, grace, kindness, sympathy. The left is gevura, strength, might, justice, no nonsense. The world can play havoc with the Christian who is only grace, and the world is repelled by the Christian who is always contending. We need both right and left, grace and strength. By the time we reach this chapter, we may have made mistakes in both directions, but we are learning, and the King, our Father, is patient. Does the knowledge of being a child of the King make me proud and haughty? Not at all. God's timing is perfect, and he doesn't let us into the secret of our royalty until we have a sufficient number of failures and personal disappointments behind us that guard us from foolish conceit. My new sense of honour bestowed humbles me. The grace of God melts me and makes me want to make him proud of me. In short, I become responsible. The inner witness of the Spirit that I am part of the family inspires not pride or privilege, but love and responsibility. What can I do to help? God asks but one thing, and he even supplies that. And we'll look at it in the next chapter of Letters.